Right, gonna take a risk on this one. I'm not gonna use my standard Harder and Steenbeck Evolution that I always use. I'm gonna put that in the drawer, and we're gonna use a £10 airbrush off eBay and see how we go. People keep telling me it makes a difference, so we'll see. Right, now the Tornado's ready for airbrushing, what we're going to do, Alclad 2 lacquers, grey primer and microfiller, Alclad 302. This is the only primer that I use, or grey primer that I use, flat. I use nothing else. We're spraying at about 10 psi, just above. Give it a blow over first, just to make sure there's no residual dust, and then just gradually build the layers up. As you can see, she goes on nicely. This is also self-leveling, so if you do put a little bit too much on, that will level itself off. This is cheapo airbrush, 2mm needle in it, shouldn't be any issues. That's that one done out of the way. Right. Second one. We're spraying about 2 to 3 inches away from the unit, because you want to get a nice consistent covering. This aircraft is going to be heavily bleached, so although the primer does matter, it doesn't matter as much as if you're doing, say, a static aircraft or a display aircraft where you want everything uniform. So just basically going over it, making sure it's all covered, and that's it. Now, a couple of drop tanks just to do quickly. As you can see, I'm not making any major fuss over this, just layering the paint on. If you do go a little bit too wet, just leave it, move on, and then come back to it. As I said, this is a little bit like Mr. Surfacer, but a lot finer. Drop tanks do take a beating. Make sure you give the seam line a good blow over. As I said, the Mr. Surfacer type properties in this filler will clean any issues you have up. If you go a bit heavy, just blow it over a bit more, just like that. So the same with this one. Don't get too close, because you will just flood it. Just keep the airbrush moving. As you can see, I've mounted these by drilling a hole in the centre of the drop tanks where the join is to the pylons, and inserted a kebab stick. That gives me room to hold it, and I'm able to just paint at will then. Not get covered in the stuff. So that's the 2 drop tanks done. A couple of small missiles to do. So I've never used this airbrush before, so it's completely new to me. It is literally, I think it's a £10.50 plus £2.85 delivery on it. So I want to try it out. After trying out a £300 one this week, thanks to Mr. J Levity, I just want to compare them a little bit. And I must say, so far, this is of no comparison. Not for what I was doing with Jay's brush the other day. I must admit. There we go. Right, what else have we got outside of the main airframe? Nothing. Good. Right. So here she is. GR1. We've got the flare system in and already masked up at the front with wet paper and blue tack. I used blue tack because I ran out of white tack. We've put the lateral fins onto the tailplane, ready for the GR1, and of course the flare system. Now this is where things get a little bit more different. Just clean this up, check what paint we got. Quite a bit for a minute. Give it a blow down. Less dust on it the better. We start from the edge of the wing. Just build the grey. Again, as I said, this is going to be fairly heavily weathered, as it's a Saudi aircraft, and they do go a lot, well sorry, they fade a lot more than British aircraft do in this country, if you don't have the sun. So just get a nice thin coat on. But what I want to try and show you is that, yeah, an expensive airbrush is nice, but you could do as good a job with a cheapie. Perhaps it's not the right attitude, but I want to have a go at it. So start at the back, and do the rear tailplane. And this has got, like I say, the 2mm needle in it, but it also came with a 3 and a 5, but I'm used to a 2, so I thought I'd stick with that at least. Give yourself a flying chance. Right, that's that done. Where did I put that? So I'd be very surprised if I put it away. There it is. I always give Alclad a quick shake before I put any more into the unit. Plenty in. And away we go again. The coverage on this is very good, and I must admit I do like it. Although I made a bit of a bodge there. It'll soon sort itself out. Just 10 minutes to dry, and we'll just sand that bit down again. Obviously go over this with a bit of sandpaper anyway. It's 2000 grey, just to rub it down a little bit if you wanted to. But again, this isn't a shiny aircraft, so it doesn't really need it. I'll try not to talk too much because Neil Kearney asked me not to, so I'll just carry on spraying and getting it up. I can't say I'm overly impressed with the brush, but like I said, Harder and Steenbeck have always been my favourite, although I might be trying a Iwata, but we'll have to see. Turn it round, get all the edges all down. Just when you're spraying, keep the airbrush moving. Doesn't matter how small you move it really, but just keep it moving. And then you don't do what I do, like a minute ago and flood the area. I mean, as an experiment so far, this isn't too bad. But I can certainly feel the difference in the quality of the brush that I'm using now to what I used before. Using exactly the same filler. I mean, it looks like I'm not using any air system to withdraw the fumes, but I have a chimney right in front of me which is sucking air all the time and sucks everything up for me, which I love. Got a bit of work to do there. All gone. Oh, you fool. That's close. Only got a little on the aircraft. Didn't put the lid back on. That'll teach me. See, we all do make mistakes. Let's put that on. Get a good covering right the way over everything, so it makes it one universal grey colour. I call this the splash and dash, because basically all you're doing is getting your first line of cover on her. And there, she's primed, and she's already dry enough to leave the airbrush in the hole. Get out a sand and spudge and just sand down if you've made any oversprays. Like I did. So I'm showing you this warts and all. A bit more. Get out a little bit of a heavier stick just to smooth that off just that little bit more, like so. Come along with your polisher, polish her up, ready. Right, now I thought I did a little bit of a boo-boo under here, and I did, just there. So we'll take that out. Polish her up. Where else? No. Right. So just blow that through the airbrush. Right, the Alclad's been sitting still for about 10 minutes, so give it another quick shake. Don't want too much this time. Last time I took the lid off, didn't take the lid off. This time I didn't. Never mind. Right, here we go. A little bit there. And Just gently finish it off. What it does, it just brings it all back. Paint this side just to bring it back, and now I'm happy with it. Oops. There you go. I said warts and all. And we have a wart, a real one. So we get rid of it. Luckily enough, it's not major damage. Okay. On the grain, the microfiller properties doing a job, and you'd never know there was an issue. Right. So now, clean the airbrush out, and then we'll come straight back. Now, a trick I was taught this week is this: start the weathering before you start anything else. So even before the pre-shading, this is a type of pre-shading I guess, but we're going to use Alclad 2's white primer and microfiller this time. I'll just give that airbrush a quick clean air around it. I hate dirty airbrushes, although mine's seen a lot of work over the years and is past it. So hopefully looking to buy another more decent one soon. As I said, I might be going to the dark side of Iwata, but we'll have to see. Anyway, right, give this stuff a really good shake, as it's never been opened, courtesy of Mr. Lavity. And what we're going to do is add some shading points. Right, I've never done this before, so it's new to me. Doodly-dee. Right. Not too much, because I don't aim to use too much. Make sure you got your flow. And we're all good. And here we go. So you got to pick out what you're going to pre-shade. So, don't matter, remember, because you've got a colour going over the top. Pressure's a little bit high. Just want areas slightly different colour. Remember, it's only got to be shaded where it's in the sunshine. Do a line across the top there. Alright. Air brake's a bit of a blow. Right down the spine of the aircraft. Give it a quick blow in, just to modulate it in a little bit, and do the same on the other side. Down a bit. So we're now down to about 8 psi. That's better. Mix it up a bit so you've got different panels, a little bit more shaded than others. Spread out the joy as such. I will do that one the same. And again. Now, I'd never seen this trick used until, as I say, Mr. Lafferty told me. And just going to give it a run, see how it works. At the end of the day, we can always strip the model and start again, he says. Just a nice edge along the trims. You can see there, and on top, anywhere it might get bleached. Right, a little bit there, same on the other side. And that is the first lot of pre-shading done.